Come to this next story, which suggests everything you've heard about the problems Trump faced may actually be a result of Trump derangement syndrome. In this tweet, Jack Posobiec posted a video from the Triggernomotry podcast. Shout out, guys, from the Triggernomotry. Sam Harris, quote, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared. This is going viral like crazy. Wow. Since this morning, 3.3 million views. Sam Harris basically says that what he calls a left-wing conspiracy to suppress information to try and stop Trump from winning the presidency was acceptable and good. It was warranted. And Constantine's like, I have to stop you. You're saying you're okay with this manipulation to prevent someone from winning a Democratic election. And Sam Harris is like, yep.
Oh, he actually tracks back and says, no, I didn't, I stutters all the time. Like,
let's play it. Let's play it. Let me make sure. I always have the audio set to the wrong setting.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared, right? It's like, there's nothing. First of all, it's Hunter Biden, right? It's not Joe Biden. But even if whatever scope of Joe Biden's corruption is, like if we could just go down that rabbit hole endlessly and understand that he's getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden's deals in Ukraine or wherever else, right? Or China, it is infinitesimal compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved in. It's like a firefly to the sun, right? I mean, like there's just. It doesn't even stack up against Trump University.
Let me pause you right there, Sam. Let me just say something right now. Trump University. So Trump launched university and may have, his argument, defrauded a handful of people into giving up some cash. And he's comparing that to Hunter Biden on the board of Burisma, Joe Biden's quid pro quo, the war that has erupted and is spreading across the country, the people who have died and lost their cities, Joe Biden sending billions of dollars to the Ukrainians. So when you're saying like maybe he's getting kickbacks, I don't know, who cares what's in the laptop? It is entirely possible that Joe Biden's Hunter entanglements are what's exacerbating this conflict. And you think Trump University is so much worse. This is the point I'm trying to get to. Trump derangement syndrome is so intense in these people's minds. What Sam is saying makes literally no sense. If Trump really is the con man they think he is, he's conned some American people out of their money, some property owners, and sure, that's bad. But Joe Biden is conning the entirety of the country to the world and putting us in a very, very precarious and dangerous place with his inability to do his job. And if Hunter Biden really is involved in, say, Chinese private equity deals, our security is compromised well beyond Trump ripping off some fat woman who bought a university ticket. I'm sorry, man. Sam Harris, this stuff lights me up. Let's play more.
Right. Trump University as a story is worse than anything that could be in Hunter Biden's laptop.
Insane.
Right.
What?
Now that doesn't answer the people who say
there's images of Hunter Biden in the buff with family members, young minors that have been released from this. He shares his bank account, his phone number with his dad, according to some reports. He calls his dad a pedo. And Trump University is worse than anything. Let's play more.
To not have looked at the laptop in a timely way and to have shut down the New York Post's Twitter account like that. That's just a conspiracy. That's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency to Donald Trump. Absolutely, it was. Absolutely, right. But I think it was warranted. Right. And again, it's a coin toss as to whether or not
Sam, I'm sorry.
that particular piece.
I'm really sorry. I was the one that said we should move on, but you've just said something I really struggle with there, which is you support
the kids in the basement.
No, fuck the kids in the basement. I'm interested in democracy. You're saying you are content with a left-wing conspiracy to prevent somebody being democratically re-elected as president.
Well, no, I'm content. Well, but the thing is, it's just not left-wing, right? So Liz Cheney is not left-wing, right?
Oh, man.
Liz Cheney is doing everything in her power
to prevent somebody being democratically elected.
But there's nothing conspiracy. It's not. It was a conspiracy out in the open. But it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what part's conspiracy, what part's out in the open. I mean, I think it's like if people get together and talk about what should we do about this phenomenon. If there was an asteroid hurtling toward Earth, and we got in a room together with all of our friends and had a conversation about what we could do to deflect its course, right? Is that a conspiracy? Like some of
Like that last 20 seconds was absolute flubber.
Oh my
He's not even making any sense.
Together.
He said it was a left-wing conspiracy to make sure that Donald Trump didn't get democratically elected, and he was fine with it. That's what he said.
And then he walked it back and said, no, it wasn't a conspiracy.
And it wasn't left-wing. Like, he just said it. He just said it. Sam, this is an example of intelligence without wisdom. The guy goes on these logical tirades which have no emotional integrity.
No, like the saying is, intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. And I think is right on from Ian. It's the right point. Sam Harris is an intelligent guy, but it's a lack of emotional control. To say something as insane, wrong on moral and factual points is just like, this is the danger. I mean, Sam Harris is a very high profile guy with a very large audience. And he is a guy who goes out and talks about the zealotry of religious groups and how dangerous it is. And then look at what he says. There's no rhyme or reason to anything he was just saying other than he's an authoritarian who would use by any means necessary powers to crush people he doesn't like.
I think what strikes me most is his last metaphor. If there was an asteroid coming to Earth and we made a plan to stop it, that would be okay, right? That's not a conspiracy. Like, he is so convinced that what's happening with Trump is just this uncontrollable, unpredictable force. He can't accept the fact that people think differently than he does, and they want Trump to be in office, that they don't agree with his perspective, and therefore it's bizarre.
The whole thing he said was mishmash nonsense. Like you mentioned, like the last 20 seconds flubber, walking back, changing what he's saying. This is Constantine. The trigonometry guys, they have values, they have principles. They're inquisitive. They're trying to understand things. And this was brilliant. This is what real journalism is. This is not, we don't get this from Brian Stelter. We don't get this from CNN. This is him just literally saying, okay, you've made your point. This is my question to you. And then he sends Sam Harris into a spiral of nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, what they think Constantine does the best is he has a specific thesis he's trying to answer, which is like, what can you do to defend democracy? Where do you draw the lines between what is acceptable and what is not? And I don't think Sam Harris has the moral compass to say, like, oh, yes, I respect how democracy works. Like, for him, it doesn't matter.
But what do you think is causing this Trump derangement syndrome? Like, look, I understand.